What's up, LG? What's up, LG? How are you? Right, right. Synchronicity, synchronicity. How are you doing, my brother? Jasmine, Jasmine, thank you for coming into the live stream. As you already know, everybody, we're gonna wait a little bit to let a couple people get up in here. Maddie Champ, what's up? How are you? Charles, what's up? Blessings, sophisticated. How are you? Please, if you're in the building, please let me get a few likes. I'm trying to get this damn light right. Uh It's like crazy bright right now. Yes, please let me get a few likes in the building. We're just gonna wait a little while longer, get some people up in here. I'm just gonna be I'm gonna be just vibing out with you guys. Finally got some time to myself to give you this high vibrational message. Marley, peace, peace, peace and love, Queen. Yeah, I'm gonna give you guys this high vibrational message. If you checked, let me get some of these other tabs out the way. If you were on a couple of my other live streams earlier in the, a couple of days ago, I don't know, last week or something like that, I had brought up the whole elite thing, the whole, exposing the truth of who the elite are. Okay. And remember what I was saying, guys, is that if you're awakening, which all of you are listening right now, because you wouldn't be here if you weren't, right? You wouldn't be interested in tarot. You wouldn't be interested in, chakras. You wouldn't feel so different from normal people. You wouldn't feel so outside uh, of what everybody else is doing if you weren't one of the elites. Okay. And it doesn't mean that you're better than other human beings, right? What we're really talking about is there's a process to every single generation. Life goes within a cycle, guys. And in every cycle, okay, we have a small percentage of people that wind up what we call awakening. They start awakening. They're not woke. I know that's a term we love to use, right? Like I'm woke, I'm awoken, I'm awake. Because if you was awake, you would no longer be on this plane anymore. You wouldn't need to be here. We're awakening. We're in the process of becoming awake. Because obviously, you're not awake enough not to make any mistakes. Because here's the thing I told you, the secret is you need to make mistakes here. It's a part of the process. You have to go through pain here. You have to go through pain and you have to experience pleasure as well. It's a part of the system. Okay. So, of course, you're going to make mistakes. Of course, you're not going to know everything on this plane. All right. It's impossible for you to know everything on this plane. I can't tell you about the next plane, obviously, right? We can only speak on this plane. So, the main thing, again, like I said, it's not about you being better than other people. It's about you taking the seat because of where you're at mentally and where you're at spiritually. Okay. If you're starting to notice things outside of the box, like I said before, you're supposed to be in leadership. Okay. And in all ancient cultures, they always talk about this. They always talk about these special people the Christ beings, right? The Christ beings, right? Or other names. There's just many other names depending on the culture. Okay, it's all dependent on the culture, but remember that how knowledge, how culture is formed. Remember, everything comes from one source. Okay, and then if you have groups of people that spread out to different places for long periods of time, what happens is that these groups of people create a different culture, slightly different. It gets more and more different as more and more time goes, passes by. And this is why you have slightly different variations of what we call the great work. Okay. Some of the meanings might change of the symbols. Some of the matter of fact, the names always change because remember, guys, that you have to take language into consideration here. Okay. Language plays a key role. And this is why I say that in order to be a really effective magician here, in order to really understand the matrix to its fullest extent, history plays a key role. Because I know a lot of you might feel like history is something that's not important, right? Just focus on the present. When that happens, you get stuck within a cycle. Okay, guys, I know my connection's already messing up. All right. So I'm sorry about that. So where was I at? As we know, different cultures, but language plays a key. It's just like the importance of having a diary, because the thing is, if you're not documenting your daily, the things that happen to you on a daily basis, that your daily thoughts, you're not going to remember, and you're going to, in return, going through these mini cycles. This is why you keep going through the same things within your relationships. You keep meeting the same type of guy. You keep meeting the same type of girl. You keep ending up in the same types of situations with your jobs. Okay. Yeah, LG. It was buffering. It's a storm outside right now, and I don't know. It's messing up the connection. I don't know why my connection has been really, really bad lately. For everybody, please let me get some likes in the building though. Please hit that like button. Um, so the cycle, you continue to go through these mini cycles unless you document your information. You document, you do that with a diary. But let's talk about on a broader scale. Okay. On a broader scale, this is what history is. Again, this is what they say. If you don't know the past, you're doomed to repeat it. And that's what happens every single time. See, in every single part of history, and again, they take away a lot of past history. They only go so far back, because obviously we're going to have evidence of some history that just happened not too long ago, right? So let's just say like at least 1,000 years ago. But when we move past that, they can start taking some of that older history from 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, and start dismissing it. And they continue to do this in every cycle. This is why, all right, they don't teach you about how long really human history lasts in school, even in college. All right, because if they did, the whole education system will be put upside down. Okay, your everything will be thrown upside down. This is why you have to dig to get the real history. Okay, so like I'm saying, is that within every cycle, every generation, there's always a few people that start awakening. They start getting interested in this knowledge. They start feeling something different. Something higher starts calling them. I know all of you have felt this. are currently feeling this now. But what happens is that somebody wants your seat. Okay. There are people out there that want your seat because here's the thing. They don't want it to change. They don't want the seats to change. They currently want to stay on, they want the throne forever. Okay? Think about it. It's just regular human greed. If you've been ruling, your bloodline has been ruling, you want to keep ruling. Even though you know that the throne changes. It's like musical chairs. Okay? It's like musical chairs. It changes. So, what do these individuals do? They set spiritual traps for the individuals, for the true elite. They set spiritual traps for the true elite. To take one of these traps take your confidence away. Okay, I already told you about the spiritual warfare. I did a whole live stream on spiritual warfare, and one of those key things in spiritual warfare is that you give your energy to something else. Not saying that it's not good for you to give your energy to other beings or other things or other living beings, whatever. But remember what I always said, that it's a relationship thing. 50-50. Okay, you have to take energy for yourself as well. But what happens though? Remember, it started out religion. It started out with the four masculine religions, which are Christianity, which is the king, Christianity, all right, Judaism, Islam, and Buddhism. These are the four masculine religions that offset it as far as the elites. Because what do these four religions all do? They all make you focus your energy totally on something outside of you. And it puts you in a position where you are powerless. You are nothing. You've heard many Christians say this on many occasions where they say, I am nothing. Everything is of God. I am nothing. I don't even exist. I'm not important. Everything is God. They won't even give themselves credit for, like, they'll say, let's just say they win an award for something. And they'll say, it wasn't even me. It was all God. I am powerless. You got to understand the psychology behind this. Okay? Because the transition, all right, obviously, most of us are no longer captivated by the masculine religions anymore. As far as this new generation of awakening beings, me and you, okay, we're the new generation of awakening beings on this planet right now. Most of us are no longer captivated by those four religions anymore. But here's the thing. Most of us are captivated by the New Age movement, though, because that's another construction that's made by the people that want your seat. They don't want to move. Okay? They've been doing this for years now. For hundreds and hundreds of years, where they keep their particular bloodlines in position. They understand that, that it changes as far as where the energy goes, who starts awakening, who starts becoming really vibrant on this planet. They understand. But again, because of the greed of wanting to stay there. Okay. So my message is to you, all 25 of you currently listening right now. By the way, peace and love, 26, peace and love to every single one of you. I hope you're doing well within this time period. You should be taking advantage of this time period. Don't get caught up with everybody else. I always got to remind you. I told you I'm going to go as live as much as possible to always remind you to not get caught up with everybody else. Don't, whatever that most people are talking about, you can bet your bottom dollar that during this time period of the coronavirus, everybody's trying to come up with a reason of why it's happening, right? Okay. Everybody, but where are their minds at? We're talking about regular, normal people. Everybody's saying the same thing. Here's the thing I always want to let you know: when everybody's saying the same thing, the majority of people, that's when you know, no. That's when you got to sit quiet and really assess the information that's being presented to you. Okay? You got to remember that human beings are logical, curious beings, right? So they always want to, here's the thing, especially people in well-developed countries, because they feel like nothing bad could ever happen to them. People in well-developed countries have become so comfortable with their normal day-to-day life that when anything strange happens, it has to be some kind of, deep conspiracy theory. It always is. Again, this is why I said understand history. Even within your own lifespan, understand history. See, the thing is, you tend to forget. You tend to forget what happened 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. We tend to just forget. And then we go into another cycle of some kind of panic. I mean, obviously, this is a different type of panic, but you got to remember, it's always something that the masses are going to be going crazy about. Always. Okay? Always. This is just how it is. Remember, like I said, get used to reality. Get used to it. Okay? So, again, everybody's pointing the finger, right? Everybody's pointing the finger because of the coronavirus. Some people say it's 5G. Some people, whatever everybody else is saying. Okay? The thing is, like I said, if everybody's saying it, come on, guys. Because here's the thing, human beings have a group mentality. So when you hear a lot of people saying one thing, your first instinct is to jump on it without verification. This is what's happening with the conspiracy theory surrounding coronavirus. All right. Soon as you hear a bunch of people saying it, your first instinct is to go and start commenting on it without verification. When a couple of these things that pop up like 5G, simply what you can do is do effective research, not from blogs. Okay? Effective research, because then you'll see it doesn't hold too much weight. Not saying that 5G is not affecting people in a negative way, right? Because all these things are affecting us in a negative way. I said this before. Okay? Everything is affecting. You think regular Wi-Fi doesn't affect you in a negative way? But remember, when Wi-Fi started to become a thing, people were in an uproar too, saying that we were going to all die from cancer. You just don't remember. But everybody was in an uproar then. Well, if we get Wi-Fi in our homes, we're all going to get cancer and die. It's going to kill off infants. You guys just don't remember. This was not that long ago. It was in your lifespan. Okay? It was in your lifespan. We're going to do to us having a computer in your home. Guys just don't remember. All right. But what, there's always an uproar with everything. What about power plants? Like literally, these are radioactive power plants. If one of those power plants exploded, it would do so much damage. You see, we can't get caught up in the small little details. I already told you that life, period, is a so-called dangerous thing. You can't get caught up in every single thing. Okay? Because that's going to distract you from what you have to do as being one of these elites. I'm telling you, people want your seat. They know who you are. Okay? They know who you are. They know your searches on I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you, who cares? Who cares if they know what you're searching on online? Who cares? Okay? Continue to do what you have to do here. Let me look at some of these comments. I'm guilty of comparing myself to other people, but I allow myself to be a victim. But I don't allow myself to be a victim of circumstances. I control my destiny and write my own history. Yes, that's the way to go. Maddie Champ, sorry to take you off topic. In the UK, people come out at PM to come outside to clap to show support to the National Health Service. They even done it yesterday. Is there anything spiritual in this? Maddie, I wouldn't say there's anything, I'm trying. What do you mean? Like, is there like a deeper meaning to that? I mean, that's people just showing support. I mean, I wouldn't say there's anything, again, there's not always a deep conspiracy with everything. What's up, John? What's up, John? Your seat, they'll always continue to throw things at you. Just get used to it. Because I know with regular people, right? Regular people are always searching for this time period where everything is great, where everything is just 100% positive. Guys, that's the heaven story that they sold you. Okay? Us that understand reality. I already said that people in well-developed countries suffer from mental disorders. One of them is schizophrenia, because people in well-developed countries are so out of reality. Okay? Because in reality, guys, there has to be life and death, pain and pleasure. Where if you want to call it good and evil, black and white, negative, positive, that's what this plane is. So if you're waiting for a point in time in history where it's going to be 100% everything is just good, you're missing the point here. You've been caught up in their spiritual trap. I told you they set spiritual traps for the elite so you can get caught up, right? You get caught. And you fall in line like the rest of everybody else. Again, if you start sounding like everybody else, if you start focusing on the things that everybody else is focusing on, then you are a part of everybody else. You no longer are a part of this right here. Okay? You're no longer a part of this right here, this is a congregation of the elite right now. Okay? Every single one of you. Like I said, everybody that is awakening right now, it's not just on this channel, but anybody who's awakening in a genuine way. Because remember, this is a hot thing right now. This is something that everybody wants to hop on because it's something new. But I'm talking about the genuine people that are awakening, not just hopping on this because it looks like this is where everybody else is going. Yeah, they might start doing yoga. Now they want to be vegan too. And now they want to, say ashe and namaste, right? None of those things matter, right? Because it's all about the being. Like you could say namaste all you want every single day. You could do yoga and try your best to meditate every single day, but if you're not awakening, you're not awakening. Simple point, plain and period. So I'm talking about the genuine people that are awakening, the genuine people that don't feel right, like they feel something in your correct place. You don't feel good in the same place as everybody else. That's why you don't feel right. Thank you, Johnny boy. Thank you for that donation. I really appreciate it. Definitely appreciate that. But that's why you don't feel right. That's why you feel like nobody understands you. I'm talking about to the genuine awakening ones, to the real elites. That's why you can feel something higher. You can feel something higher. I can't explain it to you in words, but if you know, you know. That's why strange things happen to you. Okay? Strange synchronicities happen to you. You might feel like something is leading you somewhere. Again, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But this is not a new thing. Again, this happened. But here's another thing. Like I said, we fall into the spiritual trap that you think that everybody is supposed to be awakened at the same time. We even have people that think they're awoke here. Like some people actually really think they know it all. Like they know everything. They're totally awake, but still walking around in physical flesh. This is why I say step back and don't argue with people. Just look. You're still walking around in physical flesh. Okay? If you knew everything, you wouldn't be in the flesh anymore. You're not woke. Okay? You're in the process of becoming woke. But nobody on this planet that has a physical body, okay? Nobody on this planet that has a physical body is totally woke here. Okay? That's what you call a true narcissist. I told you already, guys. I'm telling you the secrets. There's more narcissists in this community than in any other community. I'm telling you. There's more narcissists in the spiritual community than any other community. You want to know why? You want to know why? It's because this is one of these communities that, just like the religious community, that you can say whatever and people might just believe you. This is one of these communities that you don't really have to back up what you say. So it's just an easy breeding ground for people to just get online, make a blog, make a YouTube channel, and just say whatever and hit you with the Jesus story. You know how the priest used to say, well, God is talking to me. This is exactly what they're doing. Remember, I told you that Christianity, the masculine religions have just transitioned into a whole nother thing called the New Age movement. Then you have these people that are telling you, I've channeled Archangel Michael, and this is what Archangel Michael told me. I already told you there's no such thing as Archangel Michael because it represents an angle of light, which is energy. It's an archetype. So anybody that's telling you they're channeling this person is making stuff up. I'm sorry to tell you. I know. See, the thing is, when you start knowing things, it kind of takes a little bit of the magic away sometimes. I've heard plenty of people talk about the entertainment business, right? When you learn about movies, how movies are made, it kind of takes away the magic, because when you watch a movie, you get so entwined within the story that you might feel like it's real. But then if you're one of the people behind production and you're the one doing the sound work, or you're doing the editing, it's not magical to you anymore, because you know exactly how it's made. You see the difference of being on the inside and then on the outside? See, the outside people get captivated by what's fake, okay? But the inside people do not get captivated anymore because they understand what's going on, okay? You have to become a creator now. If you're awakening in this moment, you are meant to become a creator now. I'm sorry, a little bit of that magic is going to have to be taken away. And what I mean, I don't mean like magic as far as energy. I'm talking about the little bit of that fantasy were meant for you to understand because they're explaining science, but just in a metaphorical way. Because it's easier for your mind to comprehend the message through a story format and with things that you can connect with on a personal level. If you explain Mars as a warrior, as a hot-headed warrior, you can feel that because you've met hot-headed warrior type of people in life. You see what I'm saying? So you connect with that on a deeper level. You connect with the information on an emotional level. You see what I'm saying? But people are setting these spiritual traps. Okay? Because like I told you, they want your seat. Okay? You got to understand. Or, like I said, the same thing. You have these people here that claim that they're channeling higher forces and they're giving you a message. Now, channeling is a real thing. But what are they channeling? Who are they channeling? That's the question you want to ask yourself, because if they claim that they're channeling one of these archetypes, all right. Now, I'll explain what the archetypes are, right? Jesus is an archetype. Buddha is an archetype. Uh, uh, Isis is an archetype. I mean, we can go on and on. Haru is an archetype. No, what's the Horus is an archetype. Osiris is an archetype. I'm just saying some of the most popular ones. These are archetypes. Remember in that last video, I said, when I was talking about alchemy, I was talking about spiritual alchemy. I said, you become the archetypes. Thank you, Eric. That magic you're talking of, sort of in a way like that childhood innocence we all had. Well, no, what I mean is, I probably should have used a different word besides magic. What I mean is that, of getting caught up in what the story is, like that's what I mean by magic. Like, like I said, think about a movie, right? Like, if you know exactly how movies are created, like you're on the back end of creating movies, it's not this magical thing to you anymore. Right? Because you know all the production behind it. It's not a magical thing. Or let's talk about all right, great example. This is a great question, Charles. Let's talk about like magic tricks, right? Magic tricks. People, they'll have a coin in their hand, they'll take their hand, and then all of a sudden they'll be gone. Right. And you're like, wow, oh my God, this is crazy. But in the real world, in reality, if people that do magic tricks, they know there's always something that, it's not a magical thing. They're literally tricking your psyche. Okay. However, how they do it. Again, I'm not a person, but I mean, you guys know that. That's just an example that I'm giving you. Once you know how it's done, once you know how that magic trick, how the guy, makes the coin disappear out of his hand, it's no longer exciting to you anymore, because you're like, oh, I know exactly what he did. He did such and such and such. Okay. It's the same thing here. Okay. With anything. Okay. So that's what I mean, Charles. Okay. So Eric Cosmo, you're saying followers of the ascension to 5D movement is led to their wrong path. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Again, there's a bunch of, there's a bunch of things that, they take you off of your path. All right. Like I said, let me put my charger in real quick. The thing is about to die. Okay. Because here's the thing, guys. Happens because I know there's plenty of people that talk about what's happening to you as you're awakening. And I see the same bull crap every time. The same dumb descriptions. This is how you know that everybody is just copying all, they're just regurgitating rules. So not everybody's supposed to have the same message. Everybody's supposed to have their own unique teaching and style and perspective. But when you go on YouTube, you hear the same things over and over again. That's letting you know that this person is just regurgitating. Okay, and it obviously is good to regurgitate, real good information, but what they're regurgitating is not reality. I'm telling you guys, it's I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know where they're getting this stuff from. Okay, because it's not from the text. It's not from ancient texts or anything. They're just making. Why do you think I'm always using real world examples so it makes sense to you? Okay, so it makes sense to you. Ashe, Mr. Safari. Peace and love. Peace and love. Thank you for coming into the live stream. Shout out to everybody in the live stream. Okay. Again, what's happening to you? Okay, let me tell you what's happening to you. Of just your own perception of reality. That's why you start feeling strange. Because regular people, you're receiving a little bit of extra light outside the cube. Okay, outside of the cube, which is, in simple terms, guys, again, I don't want to start talking too much. I want to get simple. In simple terms, you're stepping outside of your perception of reality. So that's why you start noticing different things. You start feeling different things. Oh, ASMR, thank you. I appreciate you. Oh, Eric, you're saying, what do you think of magic tattoos? Like, oh, well, you're talking about symbolism, right? Symbolism is a powerful thing. So yeah, if you're getting a tattoo and it's connected to some kind of symbolism, that's powerful. But if you're getting a tattoo because you just think something looks cool, then that's different, you know. But symbolism, again, what do you think tattoos came from? Tattoos were created for, again, you got to go all the way back into ancient times. I don't participate in tattoos, but I'm not saying that they're bad. What the tattoos were for was to place symbols on you. All right, was to place symbols on you. Because when you connect that deeply with a symbol, because remember, tattoo is for life, right? When you get connected with that deeply with a symbol, that symbol is going to really start manifesting in your life. So you better understand the symbols that you have on your body. A lot of people don't know about the symbols they have on their body. They just thought something looked cool. They just wanted to do something because they seen somebody else do it. You better know, you better start understanding what you're doing in this life, because that's what it means to start becoming conscious. Is you start understanding what you're doing, because other people just do things just to do it. When you're becoming conscious, you no longer just do things just to do it. Sheila, right now, my connection's been bad a lot lately. I have no idea what's going on. But like the last month and a half, as you guys probably already know, my connection has been bad. So when I go live, yeah, it might buffer a little bit. But that's not going to stop the message. Okay, it's not going to stop the message. Okay. So, oh yeah. So Sheila, can you give an example of what awakening feels or looks like? Thank you. Yes. Well, again, it's a little bit difficult because everybody is different. But this is what I was saying. What happens is that you start feeling different. I can't really explain because everybody's personal experience and awakening is different. But what I will tell you is that things are going to be out of the ordinary. You might start noticing a lot of synchronicities. You might start feeling different things. You might here's one thing. People have to stop with the whole thing that when things really, really start going bad for you, that's what it means when you're awakening. Who made up this stuff? Again, I always say that misery loves company, and a lot of these people are miserable as hell. And if you're going through bad things, that doesn't necessarily mean you're awakening. All right. I don't know where these people get this stuff. Now, I'm not saying that it could not happen either. Again, but that's not the end all be all. That's not like the first phase of awakening that you're going to go through hell. It's not. It's a very beautiful and peaceful thing. So again, I don't know what these people are talking about, guys. This is why I got to keep coming on here and dispelling, what they're talking about. But Sheila, what's going to happen to you is that you'll know you're probably already in your state of awakening right now, again, because what happens is that you start getting interested in different things. You start changing your whole entire life. Your whole entire life just starts changing in whatever way it changes. But so for example, Sheila, if you were never interested in this stuff, let's just say 10 years ago, all of a sudden your mind just starts opening. You start, going down a rabbit hole in YouTube and books and stuff, and things just start coming to you. And, now you're starting to question your reality. You're questioning your relationships. This is the state of awakening. Okay. You see what I'm saying? But it's not one particular thing like, all right, this is only one path of awakening and you will go through this and it's going to feel like this. If this makes sense, Sheila. Okay. It's not going to be one road of how you're going to feel and what's going to happen to you. But I will say, like I said, congratulations. You're one of the elite. You see, it's that simple. But remember, I told you that people want to have that seat because here's the thing. Like I said, you're coming out of your perception of reality. You're starting to get access to other information. All right, I'm going to make this more simple. So when you're in your perception of reality, which is regular people, they're only focused on what they deem correct, wrong, or right. And this is based off of their past. This is based on how they grew up as a child. So whatever they see in their household, whatever they became comfortable with, that becomes what they deem right or wrong. This is what they see as life. Okay, they see that reality as life. Now remember, if you only, if let's just say you grew up in New York City, if you only been in New York City, then you only know New York City as a reality. Okay. So then as you get older, and let's just say you go to Dubai, everything feels different to you because you don't know this reality. You can't even fathom that reality. You can't, so you look at other cultures, you look at the way that other people do things, and you say, oh man, they're crazy. How can they ever do that? Why do they run their cities like that? Why do they run their countries like that? That's wrong. But who are you to say that that's wrong? That's somebody that's really, really asleep because you're only stuck in your perception of reality. So you think New York lifestyle is the only lifestyle that's right. So when you see, somebody in Iran or something like that, you're like, that's wrong. That's incorrect. They're not living correct. Or you see one of these tribal men, people in the tribes. You're like, how could they ever live like that? And they're looking at you like, how could you ever live like that? They're looking at you in them inner cities, right? With all this pollution, right? They're looking at you in these inner cities with all this pollution and all this fast lifestyle, right? And they're looking at you, they would look at you like you're crazy. And you got you using all this fake stuff, fake stuff on your skin, just fake everything. They looking at you like you're crazy. You using fake lotion, fake shampoo, fake toothpaste. Sorry, women, face, fake makeup, fake hair, fake everything. You see what I mean by perception of reality? Ashe, ancient light insights. Yes, we are alive. So what happens though in your awakening process, to make it very, very simple, like I said, I did reach out and say something big. I said, you're coming out of the cube. Okay. You're coming out of the cube. All right. But I'm going to make it even more simple. You're coming out of your perception of reality. And what happens when you do that is you start feeling things outside of your perception of reality. So this is why the way you start to feel, it's totally different. You're not used to these feelings. This is why sometimes you might get anxiety, because you're not used to feeling other energy, from other places. Okay. Outside of your perception. You're not used to noticing things outside of your perception. Okay. That's what happens when you're awakening. You start coming outside of your perception of reality. And again, it's going to affect you differently how it affects somebody else. It all depends on you. Again, everybody's an individual. This is why you can't lump people together. You can't it's not a one end all be all path. Okay. There's different types of paths here. All right. Hey Ray, what's up, brother? What's good? So again, you can't fall into these traps where, again, like I said, even the new age movement, where they have you focusing everything is very, very literal. Because what I know my beautiful people. I know my beautiful people. They want to believe that Isis is a real character, that Isis is, is a goddess that they can pray to. I know you want to do that because you grew up religious, or you grew up in a society that's religious. Everybody did. So you want to do that. Your instinct is to start praying to something. That's your instinct. But I already told you what the people in the know do with these characteristics, with these archetypes. I already told you in the last video about Cleopatra. And this is something you can look up. She really became the character Isis, the archetype, because she knew what to do. And why? Through science. They will always last within history. They will always, because they're touching divine energy. If you need a certain energy, you need to become the archetype, not praying to it. You sound like a religious person. Most likely, you do not know their names. Most likely, you do not know who they are. Most likely. I'm not saying, because some of you might. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Peace, peace. Okay, so peace and love, ancient light. This beautiful Venus day. Oh, by the way, guys, take advantage of Venus today, man. You know what Venus is about. Venus is about, exploring the pleasures of life. Okay. So Sheila, I've been experiencing a lot of synchronicities, but how can I know if I'm manifesting or awakening? You are, Sheila. That's just the whole thing that I'm telling you right now. Everybody on this channel right now, or interested in, these higher sciences, you are awakening. There isn't this, If you weren't awakening, you wouldn't be interested in this stuff. That's like the regular people that are not interested in stuff. They don't want to hear it. They think it's fake and stuff. They're because they're not in their awakening process, and you have to you have to not judge them. Don't try to, because then you sound religious. Don't try to chase them down and tell them what they have to do and what they need to believe. And again, I'm talking to you guys for a certain reason. I'm talking to you guys in a certain way for a certain reason, because I can talk to you guys like this. But if I was talking to somebody who who really believed Jesus Christ was a real person, I'm not going to disrespect them. I'm not going to speak on that. I'm going to talk to them like a normal person. I'm going to say, what are you doing today? You know, I mean, whatever we're doing. Okay. So the main thing that I'm saying is that you wouldn't be here right now. You wouldn't be talking to me, listening to me right now if you weren't in your awakening process. Trust me. Okay. Trust me. You wouldn't want to hear none of this stuff. You would think it's pseudoscience. You wouldn't believe it. So you already are. All right. Now, you're asking, how do I know if I'm manifesting? Well, that's simple, right? If you want something and it comes into existence, that's how you know if you manifest it, right? Manifestation takes energy and thought power. So, for example, you really truly, and I explained the difference between wants and desires. See, here's the thing. Here's a secret, guys. I already said this before, but just in case anybody's new, there's a difference between wanting something and desiring something. You don't get what you want here. Simple. You only get what you desire here. So whatever is in your existence at this moment, that's what you truly desire, whether you believe it or not. It doesn't matter if you believe it consciously. It doesn't matter if you believe it right here consciously. Okay? I told you your perception of reality could be false. So sometimes you have to get a wake-up check and look around in your reality to see what's the facts. The facts is your reality, not what you believe here. So look around in your reality. What does your reality look like? Because that's the facts. Now, here's the thing. You can change it, but I'm just telling you that's what you desire right now. So if you keep getting into messed up relationships, you subconsciously desire that. And I can tell a lot of people do that all the time, because I'm always speaking to people about relationships. And the first thing that they come to me with is, you know what? Everybody, I just believe that I'm not meant for anybody. You just told me. You just told me what you truly desire. Because if you truly desire true relationships, you wouldn't even be talking like that. Some people love to be in misery. Again, misery loves company too. So they want other people to be in misery. I don't want you to be in misery. That's why I'm always telling you to get what you want and get what you will turn your wants into a desire. Okay. You already told me. Well, I believe the Illuminati is taking control of everything, and we're helpless, and we'll never make it to the top unless we sell our souls. Who told you that? I did tell you that they want your seat, but I never told you that the only way to get to the top is to sell your soul. The only way to get to the top, I mean, that's a whole nother story. I already told you guys another secret is that to come to this plane, this physical plane right here, you already sold your soul to Saturn. All my conspiracy theorists, go ahead and make some noise in the chat. Conspiracy theorists, the real conspiracy theorists, that stay up all night and is only, just going and going deeper, they already know this whole thing is run by Saturn. You already sold your soul to Saturn. Why do you think your soul is encapsulated in flesh? Come on, man. Why do you think your soul is within flesh, confined to flesh, when you know that the spirit represents, something that's unlimited? And now you're in a limited space. And there's beings on the other side that are fighting to get that spot, to be in this flesh. You want to know why? Because they can feel pleasure and pain. They can feel actual touch and love and lust. That's a craving. Okay. I know I know it sounds really messed up. Okay. But again, I never told you had to sell your soul to get to the top. Let's think about what other negative things people say. Again, what you say and put out there is what you believe. It's what you desire. So if you want to change your reality, if you, like I said, look at the facts. Here's the thing, like I said, it's just like when you're an addict and you have to accept that you're an addict in order to work on that. We have to accept our reality. So you have to look at your reality, look at your relationships, look at your income, look at all these things, and just accept it what it is and say, you know what? This is what I've created, and this is what I've desired. But guess what? I'm gonna make a change, and I'm gonna change the desire, because this is not what I want. I was just led astray by what everybody else was doing. You want to admit these things to yourself. That's the only way you're going to start making a change. We're always looking for these answers of how can I get better relationships? How can I get more income? How can I get more frequency? You have to admit to yourself first that you're in whatever your position that you're in. You have to admit and be an adult and say it to yourself that you've created this. This is what you've desired. This is nobody else's fault. Stop blaming your ex-boyfriends. Stop blaming your ex-girlfriends. Stop blaming your mother. Stop blaming your father. That's what regular people do, not the elite, not you. You see what I'm saying? That's not what you're supposed to do. Let them do that. Because like I said, let them do that. Let them do them. But you come with different rules. With great power comes great responsibility. You have different rules. Okay? You have a whole different thing to do here. Again, great power comes great responsibility. So everybody talks about all this all the time about how, being one of the, awakening processes, but yeah, it comes with work. Because just like in the movie The Matrix, when you take that red pill, you got a lot of stuff to do. Because it's easy to be, where they say ignorance is bliss. It's so easy to be like the regular people. It's so easy. Okay? It's difficult to be one of us. It's difficult to be a CEO of a business and not just working for that business. Again, we got to get the boss mind state. Now we have to get the leader mind state. But it's easy to be a follower where the leader's taking care of everything. It's difficult to become the leader. But everybody thinks they want to become the leader. They think they want to become the boss. They think they want to become awakening. They don't know that this is work. Okay. Let me look at some of these. Shout out to everybody in the live stream. All my beautiful people. I love you. Let me look at some of these comments. So, Mr. Safari, I've tuned in because I'm manifesting and I'm present to divine time and moments of synchronicities. I'm so grateful to hear divine messages right now. Thank you. I appreciate you. Definitely, Mr. Safari. Charles, not to be this specific, not to bring this specific topic up again, but also think that's connected to the childlike innocence. Okay. All right. So Tate, how do you feel about Robert Greene's books, specifically relating to power and being at the top in a certain industry, with the music game, for example? Tate, Robert Greene is a powerful writer. He's also an occultist. Okay. Again, these people don't always let it be known directly. They never let it be known directly, but they speak to you in a code, a certain symbolism. Okay. So Robert Greene's an occultist. Um, it's not a Mason, but he's an occultist. Now, here we go, because you brought up something very important. I'm glad you brought this up. Because you gotta decode the 48 laws of power, guys. What's happening is people are taking these things too literal. Remember, like I said, occultists, Masons, people on the inside, they always speak in code. All right. They always speak in code. Check the examples. This is why I love Robert Greene. Because he gives you historical examples, right? Now, what you're saying is that those at the top had to do some people dirty to get there. That's not truth, right? Not everybody that made it to the top had to do, had to do people dirty to get there. All right. I'm just going to flat out say that now, but I'm glad you brought it up, Tate, because here's the thing. Many people believe that. And that's what keeps them down on the lower level, because they say, I was just speaking on this, but this is just another example. It's because they say, hey, I got to be poor and I got to be middle class, because in order for me to become great, I got to do people dirty, and I'm not doing that. That's an excuse. Okay. You see what I'm saying? I'm glad you brought it up, because it goes along exactly what I was just saying, Tate, about how you can get caught up in these traps to keep you on a lower level, because that comes out to be your reality. Now, some people did have to do people dirty to get to the top. That doesn't mean that you have to do that. There's plenty of people you can learn about that made it to the top that didn't have to step on anybody's fingers. Because guess what? Think about the examples. Remember those examples, Tate, in that book. Everybody that did something dirty, right? There was always a nasty ending to their story, wasn't it? Go back and read the 48 Laws of Power again. There's always a nasty ending for that person. Come on, guys. Again, letting you know. I want you guys to go back and read the 48 Laws of Power, but try to decode what is being spoken here. Take your time with it. Don't just take it literal like everybody else is taking it. Because what's happening is that people read that 48 Laws of Power and think, all right, this is what I have to do to get around people. No, he's telling you Saturn's world. That's all I'm gonna leave there. I want you to meditate on that, because I want to get to some other comments, but I want you to meditate on that. Anybody that was intrigued by what I just said, I want you to meditate on that. I want you to dig deeper. All right, because you'll find out exactly what I mean. All right, so Sheila, can you please elaborate more on the Saturn and humans selling their soul? It sounds interesting. Thank you. Yeah, that's something that is never spoken. But all my conspiracy theories that really put in a lot of work, on my conspiracy theories, they know that Saturn runs this whole thing. So that's a really great question, Sheila. Basically, anybody that's new to this, again, if you're new to anything spiritual, this might sound a little off-putting to you. But as far as this reality, what we call society and how we run things in this world, it's run by Saturn. Okay, Saturn is the Lord, and this is why in places like the Bible, in the Bible it states that the world is in the hands of Satan. But anybody that decodes the Bible, they know that Satan represents Saturn. It's just a mistranslation. Satan, Saturn. Okay. Also, anything dealing with Satan, Saturn, there's always a goat, right? There's always an image of a goat, some way, shape, or form that represents Capricorn, because we know Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So when you think about the Baphomet symbol, okay, guys, when you see that Baphomet symbol and you hear about all the people in the music industry selling their soul to Baphomet, it's not a literal being. It's a metaphor, guys, like everything else I'm telling you, because we know that Capricorn represents the androgynous character within the earth element. Okay, so of course, the goat is going to be androgynous. All right, but of course, that will kind of represent, the Lord, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. I know this might sound a little bit more advanced. Okay, so bear with me because I had to answer your question. It's a little advanced of an answer. All right, but Saturn runs this reality. And so when you're coming to this plane of existence, Sheila, okay, you have to pass Saturn. All right. You have to get granted access with Saturn. So what happens is that the sign, again, bear with me. Think from here. Think from the third eye. All right. Don't think from your logical sense of you going to school and stuff. Just absorb this message. Saturn, you gotta get granted access from Saturn. So Saturn presents you with a contract. What is this contract? The contract is your astrology chart. Okay, I'm laying something here. Just bear with me. I know you're going to have a lot of questions. Think from here. Learn from here, the third eye. The contract. Because you're not completing the contract. So then guess what? The contract gets revised a little bit when you come back in another body. And that's why you have a new astrology chart. Guys, I'm telling you things that are not ever supposed to be told to you. Okay? Not even mid-level Masons are allowed to hear this stuff. So let me revise again. Sheila asked a great question. Like I said, I know this is a little bit advanced, but like I said, think from here, guys, from the third eye. Just sit back and absorb it. In order for you to come to this plane of existence, you have to get access from Saturn. Saturn says, okay, again, not physically, not literally. All right. So I don't want you to be like, God, this guy is crazy. Not literally, but just feel me out. The pleasure and pain that you're desiring here. So you have to do certain things on the physical plane. When you don't do those things and you go against the contract, you get penalized just like in real life. If you have a contract with somebody and you break those rules, they're going to take you to court. Okay? They're going to take you to court, and when you're in court, everything's going to be revitalized. It's the same thing with death. If you didn't do the things that you said you was going to do, you get penalized. Okay? And now you come back into another body because you got to pay. You got to pay up. Just like if somebody's suing you, it doesn't matter if you don't have the money right now. You're going to have to pay. You're going to have to make installment payments, whatever it is. You're going to have to pay. And guess what? What happens is that on this plane of existence, you keep building more and more karma up. You just keep getting more and more debt, more and more in debt. So you keep having to come back to this lifetime and pay off that debt. You just keep adding more and more on. That's the secret to this reality, guys. Saturn's image and symbolism is everywhere. If you're not seeing that, you better start looking from here. Saturn's images are everywhere, even on the screen right now. The cube, the box. Look at your computer or your phone. It's a cube. All right. If you don't know, Saturn's image in sacred geometry is the cube. Saturn represents the cube in sacred geometry. The square or the rectangle, whatever. I know square and rectangle, two different things, but Saturn runs both of those things because they're truly almost the same thing. And we can go way deeper than that about Saturn, but this is not a lecture on Saturn, but I wanted to answer your question as best as I possibly could in a simple format, Sheila. Okay. Here's something else. Astrotheology about Saturn. Watch the movie Lord of the Rings. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Watch the movie Lord of the Rings, the whole trilogy, all of the movies. Okay. But you got to look from here though, guys. You can't, like I said, don't get caught up by taking things literal. Okay. Don't get caught up with the literal information. I want you to watch The Lord of the Rings again, starting from movie 1, and look from here. Look from your third eye. Somebody might say, what does it mean to look from your third eye? Well, that's a whole nother story. But what I want you to do is I want you to start understanding symbolism more. Don't just take everything as literal. All right. I keep saying this over and over again, right? Because it's embedded in you. Since you were a child, it's been embedded in you for you to take things literal. And you got to take things literal sometimes, of course. But when you're learning like this, you got to use the intuitive mind. You got to start awakening yourself with these again. So watch The Lord of the Rings. That's why it's called The Lord of the Rings. It's telling you right off the bat. Saturn, the rings, Lord of the Rings. What happens when you put that ring on? Everybody's fiending. Everybody wanted that ring, and they would become animalistic for the ring. I'm telling you, I'm giving you little hints for your here, giving you little hints. But obviously, I can't give it to you all, because everything can't be explained verbally, because verbal language helps you understand things logically. And I already told you, this is not a logical discussion. So I can't tell you verbally. I can only show you. So I want to show you the images. That's why I told you to watch The Lord of the Rings, so you can see the images, because this is not a logical discussion. I can't explain exactly what I want to say to you verbally. Okay. Maybe I could do better with more of an ancient language, but these newer languages, Spanish, English, Japanese, all these newer languages, we can't explain anything in these newer languages. I mean, we can't explain like some of the things that our ancient ancestors were explaining through verbal language. We can't. It's too difficult. And again, like I told you, verbal language helps you understand logically. That's not going to help you here. You have to see it. All right. Chat said, no, keep going. Greetings. BB, the rings are ships protecting Saturn. Infinite gold. Gee, Jupiter is the real deal. All the planets are the real deal. It's just Saturn rules this. Okay, Saturn runs this. But Jupiter is just as important. I mean, again, we're just talking about different things. But every planet rules a different realm. But again, like I said, it's going to take me somewhere way else. Maybe I'll do a live on, speaking about the realms ruled by the planets. If we know this realm is ruled by Saturn, I'll give you another something else. The dream realm, your dream world, is ruled by Neptune. Okay. But I'll do another live stream where I explain, that in more depth. All right. All right. So what's really going on in this world right now? Are they protecting us? Are they preparing us for FEMA camps and martial law? Or is this a good thing, preparing us for a new and better world? It's, I don't want to get into too much controversial information, because here's the thing, guys. All right. I know, because like I was just stating, right, what I was saying about regular people, what everybody else is talking about, guys, always just turn your head away. So if everybody's talking about these FEMA camps and martial law, you should probably turn your head away. Now, I'm not saying that these things are not real, but I want to drop something on you that might be really, really heavy for you to just think about. When it comes to martial law, right? The people are responsible. I know that sounds really weird, but just hear me out. All right. Because what's going to happen is instinctively you're going to want to go against that, what I just said, because that's what regular people do. But you have to understand, you have to come out your perception of reality. That's what I want you to do. Remember, I told you regular people are stuck in their perceptions of reality. So they always believe that side is bad, that side is bad, that side is bad. And they always have this super fantasy of what they believe is real. And I already told you, just like with movies, right? You get caught up within the story until you're on the other with the coin in his hand and he makes it disappear. But then if you understand how that magic trick is done, you no longer are amazed by it. So people that never seen the other side are still amazed by these things that are not real. Because here's the thing. Think about this situation, right? Think about what's going on with the coronavirus. When the government said something like, all right, everybody stay in their house and do social distancing, right? Something as simple as that. What did the people start doing? What did regular people start doing? They start doing the opposite. Again, you got to understand how things are set up for them to trap you. It's just like a child. What happens when you tell a child to do something? He naturally does the opposite. Remember that these, we were talking about the Walking Dead, these people that are not, they're still asleep. So what does that let them do? Because anybody that's talked to me for a long time, I told you that the people that are currently taking the seats as far as the elite, right? They don't break the rules of Saturn, so they don't never get bad karma. What they do is make you break the rules yourself. They lead you to break the rules yourself. Because here's just what happened. Let me explain it again. They told you to sit in the house and do social distancing. People all around the world said they're going to do the opposite. So that gives them the opportunity to create martial law without any bad karma. You see what I'm saying? So now, if they wanted to, if it got really bad where people are not really, really listening, they can enforce martial law, which is what they wanted to do in the first place, but you let them. Again, that takes a lot to process for a moment. What these people do is lead you to let them control you. They don't have to make you physical slaves anymore. Guys need to wake up. They don't have to put you in chains anymore. You do it yourself. Okay? But again, I don't want to talk about all this fear. I only talked about it because I'm answering your question. But again, don't let it distract you from what you need to do. Everybody that's on this live stream right now, what you need to do is in this time period, especially if you're not working, is you need to start focusing on your purpose so you can get to a higher frequency and start taking those seats at the top. Again, if you want to make a change in this world, you can't make the change from the bottom. You're mad at your politicians, you're mad at your government. Why don't you do something about it? You're mad at all the rich people in the world, right? Why don't you do something about it? What are you doing about it? That's what I want you to focus on right now. Don't get caught up in what everybody else is focusing on. Everybody else is caught up in the fear. Okay? Everybody else is caught up in the fear. You gotta start taking responsibility and become the leader that you are. Because you're meant to be the leaders. Everybody that's interested in this information, you're meant to be the leaders. You got to take the responsibility. So if you don't like what's going on in this realm, guess whose fault it is? You think it's think about a household. Are you going to blame the children for the household or the adults? If I'm telling you right now that you're meant to be the leaders, that means you represent the adults. And the rest of everybody else, they represent the children. So you're going to blame the children or you're going to blame the adults? You're going to have to start blaming yourself because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Okay? You are a high vibrational being. You're being gifted with all this energy. You are being gifted with all this insight. You are being gifted with all these feelings, of all these different perspectives, and you're not doing anything with them. Don't get caught up like everybody else and just start complaining and just being mad and miserable like everybody else. Why don't you start doing something? Create the companies that you would want to work for. Create that company. Okay, let me look at, I just want to, I'm gonna get to these comments, guys, but I just want you to know, create the company. Create the government that you want to be a part of. You can't do that from outside the government, though. Yes, I know you might have to get into politics. I know something you don't want to do, but guess what? That's what a responsible adult does. The responsible adult has to do things that they don't want to do in order to sustain the household. Right? I'm letting you guys know, but let me look at these comments. All right. Whew. Preparing us again. I'm sorry, Infinite Gold. I'm just not into all that. You're talking about RFID chips and stuff. I must be looking at older comments. Hold on. Let me see. All right, books. I want all these knowledge. Sheila, I always state what I'm gonna do. I do actually. Here's the thing: you got to go on my YouTube channel. You got to look at some of my older videos. I have videos where I have book recommendations. All right, but it's always hard for me to go off the top of my head because what topic do you want to learn about? I mean, that's one thing. What topic, are you trying to learn more about? Because there's thousands of books, right? Like, and thousands of topics. So you got to let me know. But I do have other videos, past videos, just go back and I have book recommendations. I have at least 3 videos on my channel where I'm recommending books. Okay. But again, if you want me to get specific on something, you got to let me know of what are you looking for? What kind of book are you looking for? All right. They say the subconscious knows symbols and spirits use symbols. Yes, yes. Nah, they tell us to get flu shots. They don't. Infinite Gold. All right, we gotta stop. Okay. Hi, Eileen. Hi, Eileen. Infinite Gold. They're gonna keep blocking your comments if you keep saying, I'm not blocking your comments. I'm not even entertaining it. But they're gonna keep blocking your comments, man. Oh, thank you, Charles. Thank you, Charles. So the government of a new system. Yeah. Latin is a powerful language. That's still a new language, though. You got to go past that. I'm talking about really ancient languages. Latin is considered is still a new language in human history. As far as human history is concerned, it's an older language than English is, though. But you got to go to ancient languages. Okay. Because the farther you go back, the better you can explain symbolism verbally or through writing. Remember, guys, I told you before that that writing was spells at first. It was not meant for communication. It was spell work. So verbal language, writing is still representing spell work. And this is why it's very, very important that you guys get an etymology dictionary. or start learning from etymology dictionary. Don't just focus on the regular dictionary, like regular dictionaries, because definitions changes all the time. Definitions change all the time. Okay. So etymology dictionary shows you the origin of the word. So that's what the word actually means. Okay. That's what the word actually means, because the certain word becomes a symbol and it gives off a certain frequency when you say something like what I'm talking about right now. Every single word has a frequency attached to it. Every single frequency has an energy attached to it. Every single energy has a meaning attached to it. Okay. All right. So let me see. How do I manifest a spiritual family around me? I feel alone. Um, it's not. First of all, you're manifesting that right now by being a part of it. But is your purpose? The right people will be attracted to you. You don't have to like try to manifest that. That just comes with the territory. Okay. And here's the thing. Here's what else that spiritual people get caught up in is that they think that when you do start becoming awakened, right, you're awakening in your process, that you only are supposed to be hanging around other people that are awakening as well. That's totally false. This is why in every single mythology story, right, every single mythology story, the prophet or prophets, right, what did they do when they started getting the light? What did they do when they started awakening? Did they only hang out with people that were awakened? No, that's not what happened. What they did was that they start going amongst the regular people and started leading the people. It's right there in the books for you. Everybody's asked for recommendations for books. Read mythology. That's where all the science is at. Everything is being told to you right there. Any mythology. Read the Bible. It's telling you what to do. Once you start your awakening process, you got to start leading the people and not cower away, running away, trying to be only with spiritual people. That's not how this works. You can still have a congregation like we're doing right now, and we're going to meet spiritual people on our road, and we're going to fall in love with these people. We're going to be grateful for these people. But are you supposed to only hang out with them? No, it's not what you're supposed to do. Again, you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's what success, that's what this life is about. The moment you only search for comfortability is the moment you start declining. And guess what? You're just going to have to keep coming back until you get it. It's all there, but you have to see the story from here, from your third eye, and understand the symbol. There isn't like, a really set course for understanding symbolism. But there are set ways for understanding symbolism. Anybody that's in my magic courses, my magic coaching courses, you already know this, because that's exactly what I'm teaching you to do. Okay. In my magic coaching courses, when I gave you that tarot meditation, guys, anybody that's in my magic coaching session, that's teaching you symbolism, because you have to go through it yourself. I can't teach you symbolism verbally and logically. You see what I'm saying? That wouldn't make sense, would it? Because symbolism represents the subconscious mind. So how would I be able to teach it to you consciously if it represents the subconscious mind? You see what I'm saying? You have to experience the subconscious mind. So that's why you have to dive in to the symbolism. And that's exactly what I teach my magic coaching students. So anybody who's my magic coaching student, you can confirm that I have you meditating with tarot cards for that reason. Okay. All right. I'm halfway through Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. What a great read already. Charles, it's a beautiful book. Shout out to you, Kevin. Is it just your North Node, your women, that's your job/contract while you are here? Your whole entire chart is a contract. Okay. See, Jazz, your north node represents your transformation, which you need, how you need to transform. Remember, I always use the example of your south node being your caterpillar self and your north node being your north node being your butterfly self. All right, that shows you how you can transform as a person. But your whole entire astrology chart is a contract. Your whole chart represents you. So of course it wouldn't just be one small aspect within the chart, but that's a good question. So again, when Saturn gives you a contract, that contract is your astrology chart. You have to follow by those rules and regulations. Okay. You have to, it's the map. I told you guys already, your astrology chart is your map. Okay. And then you get frequent tarot card readings to help you stay on path. So you use your astrology chart with with tarot card readings. Again, I'm telling you how to maneuver the matrix. Like, your astrology chart shows you your weaknesses and your strengths. You need to know your weaknesses so you know who you need to connect with in life. You're not here to try to make your weaknesses strengths, guys. You're here to, what you're supposed to do is link to your strengths in your astrology chart. I know it sounds different than what everybody else is telling you to do, but like I said, leave that over there with everybody else, because they'll tell you that you got to make yourself perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect. Actually, perfection is actually imperfection. So you having all these contradictions in your personality, that's perfection. Fall in love with it. Accept it. Stop thinking something is wrong with you. The only thing that would be considered wrong with you is that you're not on your purpose. Is that you're not following your path. Is that you're not focusing on what is strong about you. You're only focused on what is weak about you. Our whole, especially if you're an American, all my Americans, we're always focused on what's wrong with us. That's why commerce out here is such a big thing, because man, weight loss pills, all this stuff, face creams, they're just hitting you because they know Americans are all focused on what's wrong about them. And you could be you might need to lose weight. That's cool. But why don't you focus on something that's good about you too sometimes? Why don't you focus on how charming you are and start utilizing that more? Why don't you focus on how you make people feel so comfortable and start enforcing that more in your conversation and your reality? Why don't you focus on inspiration? When you get in front of people, you just inspire them. Why don't you start inspiring people more? You see what I'm saying? All right. Tate, any recommendation? I know I'm so late with the comments, but any recommendations for books on symbolism? Um, this, I know this is an old comment, and I explained that again. You can't really be taught symbolism. I mean, well, somebody. What I mean is, you can be taught symbolism, but somebody can't like really teach you symbolism. Of course, they're going to be books online that explain certain symbols and what they mean. That's what you're going to find. You're going to find books that explain what certain symbols mean. And I mean, that's available. That, there's tons of books. I mean, I can't even name one off the. But what I'm pretty sure that you're asking is, how can I learn symbolism? Like, how can I connect these symbols? And when I'm seeing them, you have to start meditating on symbols. The first thing you do, again, people that are in my magic coaching sessions, I'm telling you to start with decoding your dreams by yourself. You're going to inadvertently teach yourself symbolism. Okay. I mean, on and on. Again, this is what I teach in my magic coaching sessions. So I'm not going to go all in depth into that. But if you want to learn truths, again, that's what I do in my magic coaching sessions. Michael T, I'm starting to wonder if the Mayans were using a different calendar system to make their prediction of a new world order. The new world order already happened in 2012. That's when the age of Pisces was. That's what they meant. They didn't mean that again, here we go with the literal thing. They didn't mean that the world was ending literally in 2012. The age of Pisces was over. It ended in 2012, and now we're in the age of Aquarius. So that's what that means. It's not literally. Okay. Oh yes, Black Laws Dictionary, Charles. Yep, definitely. Because here's the thing: law and government is a masonry thing. Okay. So anything does. Okay, so I'm glad Charles brought that up. Black Laws Dictionary. That means that he's thinking. Charles is over here thinking. Okay, he's putting the pieces together. Okay. Aline, hope you are well. I'm wanting to meet people. I'm wanting to meet people, a boyfriend who is spiritual and what do you recommend? I really like this dude. He owns a bar. He is the opposite of me. I think he thinks I'm too different. Go for it. My relationship advice is way different from a lot of people. Even if you're a woman, you got to stop. Ladies, you got to stop playing this card that was dealt to you. Again, we fully understand that the whole game of a man having to do everything, a man has to make the feminine, so they put you down. So they said you weren't capable of doing anything yourself. That's why they didn't even let you get a job back then. So during this is where this is birthed, where the man has to do everything for you, where the man has to make the first move. Stop waiting for other people to get what you want. If you allow to manifest things for you, if you want something, you better go and get it because somebody else is going to get it, right? You can't leave everything in somebody else's hands. Okay. So again, it's not about who should make the first move. Again, I know that women were taught that because it comes from the state of oppression. Why can't a woman make the first move? Who said she's not important enough to be able to make the first move? Who stated that she's not that important? Who stated that a man has to do everything for you because you can't do anything yourself? You can't think for yourself. Who is oppressing you still? Here's the thing: oppression gets passed down from generation to generation. It's just like the slavery thing. Even though slavery is over, the oppression still gets passed down by the people that were enslaved. Same thing with women, right? The oppression is still being passed down. You don't. But if you want something or someone, then you have just as much right as a man does, as I do, to step up. Don't let these other people get you confused. Stop doing what other people are doing. That's why they're not happy. Misery loves company. So they tell you, hey, no, that's not ladylike. You can't do that. Don't do that. And then they make up things like men don't like that. You don't, who told you? You can't lump all men into one thing and say what all men like and want. I'll tell you right now, I respect a woman if she, came out and made the first move on me. I will respect that. Okay. What I wouldn't respect is somebody who wanted me is just playing games and, is not speaking up and expecting me to just notice and make the first move. Now, if I notice and I make the first move, cool. But I don't respect that, if that makes sense. All right. So, I mean, yeah, Aline, I'm seeing you. Hold on. I'm falling so behind on these comments, but keep the comments, guys. Keep the comments coming. If you have a question, I'm paying attention. I'm not one of those YouTubers who just want to talk and talk and talk. I want to hear your perspective. I want to answer your questions. This is what the live stream is for me to connect with you. If I just want a lesson, again, I'm just going to upload a regular YouTube video and then explain the lesson. But this is to connect with you guys. Okay, so all right. Oh, Shayna, Shayna, yeah, I do tarot. If you want a tarot reading, my You got to email me at occulthealing22@gmail.com. The email is in the description of this video. All right. So, Shayna, if you want that tarot card reading, just send me an email. And I'll send you the I'll send you my prices and all that so we can go. Okay. So yes, email me at occulthealing22, the number 22 at gmail.com. The link, the email is in the description of this video. It's in the description. Okay. All right. Is it not 2012 this year based on the Ethiopian calendar? I mean, that's based on the Ethiopian calendar, but that's not the calendar over human body and DNA. Shayna, that's an interesting question. It is important, but here's the thing. That's a long process. There's a lot of people scamming with that process. Again, I want you to focus on your purpose, okay? I know you want to, there's all these other things that are pulling everybody in all these different situations. Again, all you have to do, literally, we can make this as simple as possible, guys. All you have to do is start focusing on your purpose and what you need to do. What is the thing that is really calling you? You want to start focusing on that. You don't have to do all these extra things. You can, but I'm trying to make life as simple as possible. Life is already hard for you. Okay. So I know all these people are telling you to do all these other things. Again, if you want to make changes in your reality, you have to get power, influence. Okay. That's the only way you're going to be able to make changes here. You have to put in work. So the best way that you can gain influence is to literally focus on, all right, what is your calling? You have to sit and think about it. Okay. You don't have to worry about all these other things, because guess what? All those other things will start to come to you. It comes with the territory when you start gaining influence in the world. So the nationality thing is a part of that. Because what's going to happen if you try to focus on that now, you're going to go through what a lot of other people went through. A lot of ups and downs, hurdles, pain, and all this stuff trying to get with the nationality thing. But guess what? That will be gifted to you when you get to a certain status. When you have that much influence. So to cut all the meat out, just focus on this one thing. Focus on you and what you need to do for the people. What you need to do, first of all, obviously, what you need to do for yourself and your family. Once yourself and your family is right, what do you need to do for your local community? When you start doing things in your local community, what do you need to do for your country? Then it's spanned out to the world. It's very, very simple. Okay? But simple way to do things. Because even just look at Charles. He just said it. I almost got scammed regarding. Yeah, ladies, like I said, Aline, if you want to talk to that guy, go and talk to him. That's what a magician does. A magician doesn't wait around, doesn't follow by what everybody else does and what's ladylike and what a lady is supposed to do and what a man is supposed to do. Okay. Okay, Aline, you're saying I really fancy my friend who's a dude that runs the bar. The same dude he was talking about, I guess. He thinks I'm too spiritual and quirky. I mean, he doesn't, he doesn't. I don't know what to say. Like, if he doesn't, then, again, you'll eventually find somebody that's for you. Just, again, focus on you, on building your frequency up. Are you constantly, here's the thing. Are you constantly projecting your spirituality onto him? I always say that that's not a good thing to do. Okay, stop projecting. Like, this is not a religion here, guys. That's what religious people do. They start projecting what they're supposed to do on other people. Of course that's going to be annoying to people, and they're going to lose attraction for you. So if you're saying he's saying that you're too spiritual and quirky, then I don't know what that means. Like, are you projecting that onto him? Have you guys spent time together? You see what I mean? Like, have you spent any, because he shouldn't even know that you're spiritual unless he spent like real time with you. But if he's just somebody that's seen you on the street, he shouldn't even know what you're into, because you shouldn't be projecting things onto other people like a religious person does. You keep all that stuff to yourself. Okay. Oh, he didn't say it to you directly. Well, I will have to know, again. I will have to know more about the situation, because I don't know the situation. I can't really judge and give you advice on something I have no idea what's going on. Okay. I mean, that's my only take on it. Again, if you want, if you want to go really in depth, we can set up a consultation if you desire. Okay. And again, anybody that's interested in the consultation, occulthealing22@gmail.com. The email is in the description of this video. All right. Because then, like, as I got to hear your whole story, because I can tell you exactly what's going on. I can tell you what's wrong, right? And how to fix it. Point blank, period, right? Oh, Andrea, yes. If anybody is interested in any of my services, that includes astrology readings, tarot readings, numerology readings, the how to make money from home session, the money spell, a one-on-one consultation with me, any of that, you email me at culthealing22@gmail.com. The email is in the description of this video. Again, I'll put it here because I'm seeing this a lot. All right. culthealing22@gmail.com. I'll send you my prices. Okay, let me make sure I got it right. Okay. So for all the people that are asking, all right, about any of my services, all right. Oh, hey, Christina. Much love to you. All right. So I want to okay. One last thing. One last thing. Can you recommend book on reincarnation or learning about past lives or karma? Send me an email. I can't think of a random book off the top of my head, but I do have books. I just have to go through them, and I can give you a recommendation. Okay, for anybody that's interested, that's looking for book recommendations. Okay. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Sheena. Um, hey, hey. Okay. Um, all right. So, but again, I want to get back focused to the message, okay? All right, like I said, anybody interested in the services, book recommendations, gotta send me an email, okay? Lisa, yeah, I mean, I've been uploading videos, so I know that YouTube doesn't really, send you notifications like that anymore. So if you're still subscribed, you got to hit the bell button after you subscribe so you can get the notifications, because YouTube will not send you a notification for the videos unless you hit that bell button. All right. So again, getting back to what we were speaking about again, about when you are an awakening being, when you're becoming awakened, okay, you are supposed to be a leader. Like I said, if you look at any mythology story, when the individual becomes awakened, or they're in an awakening process, okay, They start going amongst the people. Okay, they don't hide away. They don't hide away, you know, on an island and only deal with their people. That's not what happened ever in mythology, because the mythology gives you the true information. What they always did was they went amongst the people. They went and started changing people's lives. They didn't force people to believe in a religion or say that they had to believe in a certain thing. They only helped people. And that's exactly what you have to do. You have to start using your gifts to change your reality, because it creates a domino effect. Remember when I was saying, if you don't like the way that reality's set up, you're going to have to start doing something about it. You've got to think about this. What are you doing to change your reality? Because if you're not doing anything, then you are the one that's guilty, and not the Illuminati, not the government, not whatever, anybody else. Okay. You have to start um making off an empath, which, I mean, not everybody can be an empath. I don't know why everybody thinks that out the environment, because true empaths are they get their hands dirty in the environment. They're the ones owning the nonprofit organizations. They're the ones in other countries helping children and helping unfortunate people. Those are what empaths are. Okay, you got work to do. But again, not everybody's an empath. Some of us are intellectuals. You should be writing. Okay, you should be writing. You should be writing books to help out the people. Get into self-help books. You should be giving people, you know, uh, you should be giving people something that they can change their reality. If you're a business guy, you should be teaching people can, give people that love so they can change their reality with those crystals. If you do astrology readings, you should be giving people astrology readings all the time, giving people their maps, but do it the correct way. Because again, most people are not doing astrology the correct way, because they're regurgitating of what somebody else is doing with astrology. Again, if you're not giving the rulerships in astrology, you're not doing it right. All right. So if you're an astrology reader, you have to get accustomed to doing a lot more work and giving people their rulership so they can make these changes. Okay. I can keep going on and on. This is the stuff that what we do as leaders. We take, you have to, it's not just about you anymore. Like I said, I know it's a lot of work, but this is what it is. Like I said, it's easy to be a follower. It's easy to be like everybody else. But remember, if you're like everybody else, you're going to be moving in that wave. And guess what? You used to be one of those people. That's why I said you're not better than these people. It just so happens to be your turn right now. Everybody's going to get a turn to get to this point where they're starting to awakening, right? And they start making changes within their reality. Everybody. So the people you might see, it might not be this lifetime. They and maybe next lifetime they start awakening. So that's why you don't want to waste time on trying to shake people and say this is what you have to do. No, speak to people in their language. As a communicator, is your job to get to the person's level, the audience's level. It's not the audience's job, not at all. I'm talking to you because I know the audience. I know you guys, even if I don't know you. But if you're listening to me, that means you're on this level right here. If you're on the Occult Healing channel, most people, the regular people that are not ready for this, first thing they look at is occult and they get scared. Good. You're not meant to be here. If you get scared by the word occult, you're not meant to be here. Bye. Okay? You're not ready yet. But if you're here listening to this, again, I'm talking to you a specific way. I do not talk like this to everybody else. Okay? I get to their level, but I'm still helping them on their level. That's how you got to start doing things as a leader and a communicator. Okay? That's how you do that. Yeah, Lisa, definitely send me email. We can catch up. But yeah, if you're subscribed, just make sure you hit that bell button next to the subscription button, because that's what's going to give you the notifications, because YouTube has changed. You no longer get the regular notifications anymore. Okay. So I think some of the most spiritual people don't look spiritual, Aline. Andrea, very, very key point. You're another person that's paying attention, that's listening, that's thinking. Because here's the thing. Just because you look spiritual, like, yeah, again, this is a trend right now. You guys got to notice, right? It's a trend for you to, for you to get crystal jewelry now, for you to get dreadlocks, and for you to, it's a trend right now. It's a hot thing to do right now. See what I mean? So just because somebody is dressing up, like, again, some of the most spiritual people wear suits. Think about them. Think about these Masons. Do you see them? Again, they're wearing suits. Not saying that it's not a good thing to wear your spiritual stuff, right? Because I do too. But when I'm in the world, when I'm in a business meeting or something, you think I'm wearing that? No, again, you gotta remember I said you gotta get on people's level. You gotta be like water. You gotta be flexible in reality. You have to be able to change. That's how you have to be able to do this. The people that become the most successful in life are flexible. They are able to change. The people that are that never get successful in life, they're too stubborn. And they think life is about you always going against the grain. Again, life is already hard. Okay? Life is going to be hard for you on a regular. And you're just trying to make it even harder for yourself. But that's okay, because guess what? That's on you. So again, as far as like, people say, I want a spiritual boyfriend, I want a spiritual girlfriend. Where's your frequency high up, right? If you're not attracting nobody like that, that means you might not be on that level yet. You got to start working more on yourself, on your purpose. And you will, like I said, you don't have to worry about attracting people, because when you start doing this stuff, you'll naturally attract. It naturally comes. It's like being focused only on money, right? If you do what you love to do, right, and you put all your naturally comes when you become who you need to become. It just naturally comes. I know you want something, you want to focus on the small detail, but look at if you want somebody, Aline, like you said, you want this guy, he's really intriguing to you, then you got to step up. Don't wait for the man to make that move, because you have just as much right as I do to get what you want in this lifetime. Don't let other people keep that oppression on you. The oppression of the woman saying that she can't do anything for herself. She has to wait for the man to do everything. That's oppression, teaching you that stuff. You got to end the cycle. Everybody right now, we have to end these oppression cycles right now. We can't feed this stuff to our children. Okay? We got to end these cycles, man, and start a whole new cycle where it's equality, like true equality between men and women, because it's not. Okay, it's not. And it's not just because of men either. It's because it's the oppression still being taught by the women, by the mothers as well. Okay, and also being taught by men too, because men think, sometimes they think that. But like I said, it's not all just men either. It's being taught by the mothers as well. They're teaching oppression to their daughters. Okay, just like I was saying with the slavery thing, slavery as far as blacks in America is over, but the parents are still teaching that oppression to their children, and that's why you you see the situations within the inner cities and stuff like that, because again, things just don't disappear that easily. That's not how it works. Okay, Aline, that has nothing to do with being masculine. Here's the thing. I know that you might not have heard a lot of my other messages, but everybody's already masculine. The society has bred you to be masculine. Okay, that's just is what it is. But it's up to you. Like I said, I don't want to tell you what you have to do, but I'm saying if something is presenting itself right in front of you and you don't take it, that is on you. But you know, uh but as far as what we're being trained as a society, that's what they want you to become, is masculine. Okay. Infinite goal. Yes, we all have masculine and feminine, right? But what I'm talking about is what society is trying to present you to be. Because if you went to school, if you got a job, if you went to school, high school, college and stuff, they are breeding you to be like a robot. That's why they only have you focusing on the logical brain, the logical side of the brain. They want you to be very, very logical. Okay? That's what's happening here. Andreas, I just smile. Look, I don't want to get caught up. Like I said, Aline, what you could do is you can contact me. I want to hear the whole story of what's going on. Because obviously, there's some big points that I want to bring to your attention. Okay. If this is really, really that important to you, which I feel it is, again, send me an email. We can set up a consultation. I want to hear the whole story so I get the whole story of what you're going through. So then I can give you the proper advice on how you can make a change and how you could, you know, get some of those oppressive thoughts. Okay. Some of those oppressive thoughts away from your psyche. It takes time. You can't just, obviously, if you grew up a certain way, um, that's what it's going to be. Okay. Uh, But again, guys, I don't want to, I've been on here 2 hours now. I want to start relaxing. So I just want to let you guys know again for making my last point that since you're interested in this stuff, everybody listening right now, for anybody that's listening to the recorded session, you might not be live, but listen to this right now. Take this in, soak this in, that you represent the elite. You represent the leaders of this new nation. Okay. You have a responsibility. You can't, as a leader, right? You have a different responsibility. You can no longer act like what everybody else is acting like when they just blame everything else. You have to start taking control of your reality. Okay. Because you are gifted. That's why you feel like you don't fit in. That's why you feel so strange. That's why all these things this is exactly what's going on with you. Okay. You have to start using these gifts. Okay. Go out into the world and use these gifts. Now also remember what I said about when you're a communicator and you're a leader, you have to come down to the people's level. Don't expect to just preach to the choir. Okay. You're not here to just preach to the choir. I'm preaching to the choir right now because I'm talking to everybody that agrees with me, right? But after I get off this live, I'm going back into regular life where not everybody agrees with me. I have to come down to their level and still give them assistance because I want to make a change in my reality. I don't like the way it's set up. So guess what? I'm doing the work to change that. I need your help to do that with me. I can't change the whole world by myself. Neither can you do it by yourself. We can only do this if we're all working together. Okay. So if you don't like the way that the government's set up, then you might have to get up in there and make those changes or inspire somebody that wants to be in there to make those changes. Okay. You got to utilize the people that are around you. Inspire somebody to get into politics, inspire somebody to get into law, to become a judge. Okay. If you hate the system of how the judges do people and you think it's injustice, right? Then that means you're going to have to inspire people to get in the justice system to make it better. You see, with power comes great responsibility. Again, I know some people get into this spiritual stuff because they think it's easy. They think like, oh, we got shortcuts now. I could just do a ritual and I can get whatever I want. When you do the ritual, you still have to do the work, but now you have energy behind you, and now you can get what you want. You see what I'm saying? So I hope you guys understand that, okay? Oh, ASMR Rose, I didn't even see your question. Are you still going out meeting people in the lockdown? Um, I can't go anywhere right now. Hey Joy, you can watch you can watch the recording. So as soon as I get off this live, it'll be up on it'll be up on YouTube and sooner or later, but you could be able to watch it. Peace and love to you. Um, but yeah, I can't go anywhere, so a lot of my travel plans got messed up, but it is what it is, guys. All right. Um, thank you, Charles. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, LG. Thank you, Shayna, Sheila, everybody else. Okay. Much love to everybody in the chat. Thank you for spending this time with me. Keep that energy high. Like I said, don't let the negativity and the fear stop you from what you need to do. Because guess what? You know, that that's what's happening here. This is a perfect time, guys. I told you, through crisis, people start rising. This is your time to rise within crisis. I'm telling you. Okay. So much love to everybody. Keep that energy high. I'm with you. Um Anybody that desires any of those services, all right, like I said, astrology readings, numerology readings, tarot readings, that money spell, how to make money from home, perfect time, right, to learn how to make money from home. One-on-one consultation with me, like I was telling Aline, anything that you're going through that you need to, you just need to get on a consultation with me one-on-one. We can set that up. If you want a full list of my services and prices, I will send you that. So you want to email me at occulthealing22@gmail.com. Remember, occulthealing22@gmail.com. The email is in the description of this video. I'll put it in the chat again before we head out. Also, what I want to say is, if you have a movement, if you have a business, if you have a brand, you have a movement, business, brand, whatever it is, and I've connected with you and you're a good person, send me that information so I can promote it to the people, because this is what it's about. We're supposed to be supporting each other. Like I said, we can't do this individually by ourselves, but we need to start supporting each other. Again, if you have services, products, I need to purchase them from you, just like you would purchase services from me. Okay. So this is how we build our community. This is how we, start feeding our families. All right. And again, make this changes within your reality. Okay. So peace and love, everybody. Keep them energies high. All right. And I'm going to say, Ashe, namaste. All right. But what I always say? How many loves are there? It's only one love, one humanity, one movement. All right. We're all in this together. So one love, Ashe, peace. I'll do the peace like this.